Good morning, and thank you all for joining us for our weekly press conference. We have 4 topics today. First, we will announce the release of our 2025 Summer Recreation Guide. Second, we'll explain the details of our 2025 Road Improvement Program. Third, we will provide an update on the code sweeps. And fourth, the Pennsylvania State Police will showcase their Click It or Ticket public awareness campaign. So, we start with the Summer Recreation Guide, which is developed by the City of Erie Departments of Public Works and Communications. The guide provides details of numerous free activities and programs for youth at convenient locations all throughout the city. I'm proud that we can provide these summer programs once again this year. These opportunities align with our vision of creating a welcoming, vibrant neighborhood throughout the City of Erie. Thanks to Public Works Director Jason Sayers and Assistant Director Leanne Parmenter and Jeff Gibbons for coordinating all these programs. You can find the Summer Recreation Guide at over 30 locations around Erie, including right here at City Hall, community centers, the city's YMCA branches, and many other locations within the next week or so. Once again, we have partnered with the Erie Public Schools to send the guides home with all elementary and middle school students. We are very grateful to the school district for helping us with all that. The guide will also be available online at cityof.erie.pa.us/summerrec. That's SUMMERRREC. There are so many wonderful free programs again this year, such as the Learn to Swim program, Spoons Summer Basketball League, Footlights Theater, Asbury Woods Nature, In Your Neighborhood environmental events, the Erie Police Community Outreach Program, and the Police Athletic League summer camps. Plus, we have many more interesting educational programs and fun activities for kids this summer all throughout the City of Erie. Now, I'd like to introduce you to a couple of the people who are bringing exciting summer recreation to our youngest residents. First, let's start with City Council President Mel Witherspoon, who will tell us about the 35th annual Spoons Summer Basketball League, 35th annual one. Spoon.
Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity, Mayor. Once again, we are celebrating our 35th year of providing basketball league to our youth in the city. And I need to thank the Erie Police Department for their participation and all the parents that are involved in our program. Spoons League is located on East 19th Street between French and Holland. As I said, 35 years. And if you take a close look at me, it's taking their toll on me. But I'm going to hang in there with our young people. We had registration at 3 different locations 4 times. And those registration dates has passed. However, our system is designed for drafting and a combine. That simply means that you cannot bring a loaded team into our league. I do not like to see a team come in that's loaded and, in fact, beating teams by 30 and 40 points. It's not going to happen. As a result, we have a combine, and that combine is set for the 12th for our 9 to 10-year-olds and the 13, 14-year-old, 15, 16 will be the following day. The combine is where the coaches observe the players. Each player will have a number. Then we go into a draft, similar to the NBA. This allows the teams to be as equal as possible. Our first game is scheduled for June 16th, the first Monday after they are out of school. As of now, we have 125 young men and women registered. That is low based on last year's stats. Last year, we started out with 201. We also have Spoons League operation at Bayview Park because a lot of the 9 to 10-year-olds cannot get to the 19th Street activities. So we are allowing the kids to play at both parks if they so desire. Also, we have a Biddy Ball camp. That takes place at the Eagle's Nest facility on Pennsylvania Avenue between 12th and 11th. That starts June 24th through the 27th. Age group, 5 to 9. They will learn the skills that's necessary to bring them up into the next level, which would be Spoons League. A good thing this year, thanks to Bishop Brock, the city, and community, a rec center has been erected on Pennsylvania Avenue, and if it rains, we can go inside. If it's 90 degrees, we can go inside. Every participant in the Biddy basketball camp will receive a medal, a t-shirt. We have skill activities, special awards for dribbling, passing, layups, and parents are invited on the last day where the awards. We feed them lunch every day. Our camp right now, I limit the camp to 40 kids. Right now we have 52. Those who know me, it's very difficult for me to say no to a kid. So there's going to be some that show up on the day we start, and that's why I buy 5 extra jerseys just in case they show up. But because we have surpassed the registration date, those parents who are interested in registering their kids to the Spoons League, whether it's Bayview or 19th Street, I will give you 2 phone numbers that you can call, and we'll find a spot for them. The first number is 814-746-9595. The second number is 814-464-3730. Basically, we encourage everyone to come up, watch the young men and the young women play. These young men and young women are playing high school ball, parochial ball, AAU ball. And it's a safe haven for you and your kids. We thank the EPD for their presence. We thank Brother D and his organization for their presence. Last year we had gentlemen from the Bay City Lodge there as security. I have staff security. It's a safe place. It's a safe haven. And I'll say, come on down and watch these kids play ball and compete. I thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spoon's League, Spoon's Heaven. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilman Spoon. We really appreciate that. Thanks for all you've done for Erie's youth over the last 35 years. And speaking for myself, your leadership actually goes back much further than that. Back when I was a high school student, basketball became a big part of my life. I kind of played softball and baseball up to then, but I discovered basketball. And I got into the habit of going to watch Gannon basketball games in the evening, and those games really inspired me. After watching a game, I would go back to our gym, and I would pretend I was Mel Witherspoon while I was playing. That's how I got better at basketball. So next, let's move to the YMCA of Greater Erie. The YMCA is a leading nonprofit community resource providing services and programs to the area youth, development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Here to tell us more about the Y's activities planned for this summer in Erie is Deanna Renaud. She's the Vice President of Marketing and Financial Development. Deanna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Schember. Good morning. There is no reason for anybody to stay home this summer. The YMCA Kids Club Summer Parks and Rec program is for kids ages 6 to 17. They're going to spend their days taking part in a wide variety of summer play and learning activities while building a healthy spirit, mind, and body. Each day, Y staff leads hands-on activities such as small group games, board games, fitness, art, and music. We even have a hula hoop dancer who comes in each week. They visit each park once a week to teach a hoop class. The program runs Mondays through Fridays, 10:30 to 3:30, so a full day, from June 11th through August 8th. It is closed for July 4th. Free summer lunch is served daily from 11:30 to 12:30, and a snack from 2 to 2:30. That's open for kids ages 2 to 18. There is no income requirement. Simply show up and have a meal. Parents, though, they must stay for lunch for kids ages 2 to 5. The locations this year are Bayview Park, Burton, Gridley, McKinley, and Roger Young Parks. Last year, 542 kids participated. They got outside, they made friends, they learned new things all summer long. To register, parents can visit the park of their choice starting June 11th and complete an emergency contact form. The Y is also getting ready for summer swimming. This is super important. We are very much wanting to make sure the community is aware of safety around water, in the water, and how to care for children who are in the water. So join us for an open house and registration event for the Roger Young Pool on June 10th from 4 to 6 p.m. Open recreational swimming at Roger Young Park will be Monday through Saturday, 12 to 5 p.m., and that's going to exclude July 4th and 5th. But it is going to start June 11th. In addition, we have free swim lessons to City of Erie kids ages 6 months to 17 years old, and that is through the Brian Lee Crosby Learn to Swim program. And we want to make sure we note, too, that 88% of drownings happen under the watchful eye of someone. So kids are still, unfortunately, having accidents even when someone is there to watch them. And drowning is the #1 cause of death for 1 to 4-year-olds. So we want to make sure kids feel confident, safe, and knowledgeable in the water. So this program emphasizes swim and water safety lessons for beginners to advanced swimmers. You can join us at the Downtown Y for any of our 4 sessions mid-June through mid-August. Lessons meet 3 times a week for 2 weeks on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. Registration is required. Sign up for that starting June 5th by calling the Downtown YMCA, or you can stop by the Roger Young Pool Monday, Wednesday, Friday afternoons for free ongoing swim lessons throughout the entire summer. Registration is required in the Summer Parks program to participate in that. As the YMCA in Erie celebrates 165 years here in Erie, we're proud of our history of youth development in our community, and we look forward to another great summer in the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deanna. It's so exciting to hear about some of the great programs available to city residents for free this summer. There are so many more wonderful programs and events happening throughout the city of Erie this summer, and I encourage everyone to pick up a copy of our 2025 City of Erie Summer Rec Guide. That's what it looks like. As a reminder, they are available at the program participants' sites throughout the city and also right here at City Hall, at the front desk in the main lobby, right behind all of you. For our next topic now, we will share the City of Erie's 2025 Road Improvement Program. We survived a tough winter, and now that it is starting to warm up outside, a little chilly today, but it is warming up, and we have paving season that's starting. Jason Sayers, our Director of Public Works, Property, and Parks for the City of Erie, will tell us much more about that. Jason, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning, everyone. I appreciate you giving us the time to present our paving plans for the city streets. We have allocated approximately $3.4 million for the 2025 paving construction season. The color-coded maps are on display at the front of the room, and I will note that they are identical. Here are the details. This summer, we have planned 11.1 linear miles, which equates to 22.2 lane miles. Approximately 25,000 tons of new hot mix asphalt will be placed down. And for distribution, we have 48 east side streets and 47 west side streets. As in prior years, our summer paving program is divided according to work crews and funding sources. This year, we have 5 proposed segments. 3 of those will be performed by our contractors, and 2 will be performed by our City Bureau of Streets department. The contract work will be competitively bid, and I'm going to walk through those 3 contracts for you. The first one will be funded by the Erie County Local Federal Aid Routes, which is approved by the Erie Metropolitan Planning Organization. And this will include 7 city streets at a cost estimate of $750,000. The second segment will be funded by the Community Development Block Grant Program. This work will take place in low to moderate income neighborhoods and will include 20 city streets at a cost estimate of $885,000. And then the third one will be funded by the Erie County Liquid Fuels Program, and if everybody knows, these are the monies that the city receives primarily through the Pennsylvania gasoline tax, and that work will take place in the city's outlying areas and will include 20 city streets at a cost estimate of $950,000. For the City of Erie Bureau of Streets, we have 2 segments. One will be funded again by the CDBG program in those low to moderate income neighborhoods. Work there is currently underway starting this week. 21 city streets at a cost estimate of $430,000. And then the second part for the City Bureau of Streets will be funded by our street degradation fees and will take place in the city's outlying areas at 27 city streets at a cost estimate of $300,000. In addition, yesterday morning, City Council voted affirmatively to release $1.2 million from the city's water reserve account and place it into the city's capital fund. $500,000 of the funds will be set aside for additional resurfacing needs. Everyone is well aware that Erie experienced a very difficult winter, so our streets can really use these additional monies. Therefore, we are currently developing a supplemental paving list that will be prepared for late summer, and we would like to thank City Council for working with the administration on this important matter. And then at this time, I would like to present a few other updates on our public works projects. Number 1, work continues on the $2.4 million Cockwell Avenue Bridge replacement. The majority of the funding for this is provided by the $5 local use fee monies. I think everybody knows those are levied on the Erie County vehicle registrations. The anticipated project completion date for that is June 23rd. Second project work is underway on another phase of the Erie Downtown Streetscape. You can see it going on right down the street here between 2nd and 4th Streets. That project amount is $1.1 million, and the project is funded by a combination of the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program and CDBG. Another project is the installation of required ADA compliant curb ramps. These take place throughout the city, and we have approximately $350,000 in CDBG funds set aside for that work this summer. We have a crack sealing contract at various locations within the city in the amount of $100,000, and we have various traffic-related projects on the docket for approximately $400,000. So finally, we would like to ask the public's help with the following items. Use caution when entering work zones, obey signage and flaggers, cooperate with posted parking and driveway restrictions, and exercise patience with our work crews. As always, this is the proposed paving schedule, and it's subject to change based on items such as bid pricing, procurement, weather, and scheduling. We will have the summer paving program that's going to include the map and the paving list available on the website this afternoon. And then lastly, I'd like to thank our Public Works employees, specifically streets and engineering. We have some of them represented here today for all the efforts to make our program a success. And now we'll turn it back over to Mayor Schember.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jason, for that comprehensive review of the summer's road improvement projects. Upgrading and maintaining our streets is important to everyone throughout the city of Erie. We really appreciate all of our crews who help keep our beautiful city in the best shape possible. I ask residents to please be patient and kind to our city crews and our private contractors who will be working hard to repair and repave our infrastructure. I also want to provide a brief update on our code enforcement sweeps being conducted across the city in an effort to clean up large items and any debris that's out there. First, I want to thank our Bureau of Code Enforcement. To date, 137 courtesy notices have been placed on doors in Zone 6 and the north central part of Zone 8. I'm happy to report that of those, 124 of those property owners have removed the large items and the debris on their own. I'm really glad to see people taking care of our neighborhoods. This leaves about 13 properties that we still have debris in. As a result, the Bureau of Streets crews will be heading out with the claw to remove these items. In order to cover the city's costs, this will result in an abatement fee of $1,401.27 being added to the refuse bills on those properties for those owners. We prefer not to have to do this, but we will move forward to ensure that all of our neighborhoods are clean and safe for everyone. Residents who have received the courtesy notices and have not acted have through this weekend to remove the items on their own, and they won't be charged anything. On Monday, though, the crews will head out with the claw, and property owners will be assessed this fee. They'll have to pay it. I want to thank our streets crews for taking on this very important task. This has been an incredible team effort, and I'm very grateful for your hard work. Thank you much. Next, each year, hundreds of people lose their lives in crashes on Pennsylvania's roadway as a result of not wearing their seat belts. Properly buckling up is the most effective thing you can do to keep yourself safe when you're behind the wheel. Law enforcement personnel across the state are preparing for an enforcement mobilization that begins next week to ensure motorists are complying with Pennsylvania's seatbelt laws. Here to detail some of those efforts and remind travelers of the life-saving capabilities of seatbelts usage is PennDOT District 1 Safety Patrol Officer Saxon Doherty. Saxon, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I begin, I'd like to invite any of the law enforcement personnel that are here in attendance to join us up on stage. So as the mayor alluded to, I'm proud to be here to talk about seatbelt safety alongside many of our safety partners that you see behind me. Seatbelts are something simple. It's a simple concept, but we don't see 100% compliance there. So just to give you some context for data, last year in Pennsylvania, we saw more than 10,000 crashes where at least one person was not wearing a seatbelt. That resulted in 311 fatalities and 821 suspected serious injuries. Now, if you look at just the northwest corner of the state, which is PennDOT's District 1, that would have been 75 total roadway fatalities, 23 of which were unbelted. In a lot of cases, those lives could have been potentially saved if they had been wearing their seatbelt. And then, according to a statewide seatbelt survey that was done last year, 87.6% of motorists say that they wear their seatbelt every time, and that's actually lower than the national average of 91.2% for adult front seat passengers. So ideally, we'd like to see that number be 100%, and we don't see a reason why we can't get to that at some point. And a lot of that comes down to a combination of educational outreach, but also working with our enforcement partners. The life-saving capabilities of seatbelts are pretty obvious, but if you want to get some more clarification, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says your reduction of serious injury it goes down by about 50% if you're properly buckled up in the front seat of a passenger vehicle, and in a light truck it could be reduced to up by 60%. So right there should be justification enough for you to make sure that you're buckling up every time you get behind the wheel of a car, and that you're ensuring all of your passengers are doing likewise. So the message should be clear. Every time you get behind the car, buckle up. Now I'm going to pass the microphone over to Sergeant Dunmeyer from the City of Erie Police Department.
Good morning. The City of Erie had 2,535 total crashes in 2024, with 1,053 being a reportable crash. A reportable crash is a collision where there is a death, an injury, or a vehicle has to be towed due to the crash. Erie had 11 fatal crashes in 2024 with 12 deaths last year. This is an increase from 2023 that had 4 fatal crashes with 4 deaths. Of the 2024 fatal crashes, 4 of those crashes involved pedestrians in the roadway illegally, 3 involved unbelted drivers that died, 2 involved ejections where the driver was unbelted, 2 involved vehicles with grossly excessive speeds, 5 had drivers that were under the influence of alcohol or a controlled substance, and 1 included a motorcycle that killed himself and the driver of the victim vehicle. Approximately 400 law enforcement agencies and Pennsylvania State Police will participate in the National Click It or Ticket Enforcement Mobilization running from May 12th through June 1st of 2025. At least 50% of all law enforcement this year will take place during nighttime hours. Strategies will include traffic enforcement zones and roving patrols to target nighttime drivers, identified unbelted crash roadways and high visibility location utilizing a zero tolerance approach. Traffic enforcement zones, or TEZ, will be used for this mobilization in counties with the highest unbelted crash rates on selected high crash roadways. The TEZ enforcement method is not new. The detail consists of 1 observational officer and at least 1 pursuit officer, stopping motorists who are observed to be in violation of the Pennsylvania Motor Vehicle Code. TEZs are meant to yield results of a roving patrol with high visibility enforcement of a checkpoint. The Erie Police Department will be utilizing the Evolus Vision Radar Speed Sign. An example of this sign is right here to my left. The sign will encourage drivers to slow down by displaying their speed and a message according to their speed. The system also records traffic statistics such as average speeds, maximum speeds with the time of day, the number of vehicles, distribution by speed range and percentiles, and data for one or both directions of traffic. The motorcycle unit will be collecting, analyzing, and deploy themselves according to the data and issuing citations. Now let's talk about seatbelt laws. Pennsylvania's primary child passenger safety seat law requires any occupant younger than 18 to buckle up when riding in a vehicle. Children under the age of 2 must be secured in a rear-facing car seat, and children under the age of 4 must be properly restrained in an approved child safety seat anywhere in the vehicle. Children must ride in an appropriate booster seat until their 8th birthday. This is a primary law, which means that when the police pull you over, They will write you a ticket, and if convicted, you will have to pay a fine. If you're a driver 18 years or older and the police pull you over for another violation, you'll receive a second ticket if you or your front seat passengers aren't wearing seatbelts. At this time, I'd like to bring up Mike Taunton.
Thank you. I'd like to cover a few myths and/or excuses surrounding seatbelt use. First is vehicle type. There's a common misconception among those who drive pickup trucks that the large vehicles will protect them better than other vehicles in a crash. The numbers say otherwise. 61% of pickup truck occupants who were killed in 2023 were not buckled. That's compared to 47% of passenger car occupants who were not wearing their seatbelts when they were killed. Regardless of the vehicle type, seatbelt use is the single most effective way to stay alive in a crash. The second would be seating position. Too many people wrongly believe that they are safe in the back seat unrestrained. 48% of all front seat passenger vehicle occupants killed in crashes in 2023 were unrestrained. 60% of those killed in back seats were unrestrained. Rural versus urban locations. People who live in rural areas might believe their crash exposure is low, but in 2023, 11,755 fatalities in rural locations, and 12,081 fatalities were in urban locations. Out of those fatalities, 50% of those killed in rural locations were not wearing their seatbelts, compared to 48% in urban. There's no excuse not to buckle up. It takes mere seconds. And often excuses we hear are, I'm not driving very far. Where the fact is most fatal crashes happen within 25 miles of your home at speeds of less than 40 miles per hour. The excuse of, I'm riding in the back seat. The fact is you can still be thrown from a vehicle even if riding in the back seat. And furthermore, if you're unrestrained, you pose additional risk to everyone else in the vehicle if you're thrown inside the vehicle. I'm driving at night. The police won't see me. Fact is, police departments are increasing nighttime enforcement. In addition to that, there are more high-risk drivers on the roads at night, such as impaired or drowsy drivers. This may lead to an increased risk for you being involved in a crash. I'm pregnant and the seatbelt is too tight. The fact is, wearing your seatbelt is the best defense for you and your baby in the event of a crash. In this case, adjust the lap belt so it fits snugly over your hips and pelvis below your belly. I don't want to be trapped in my seatbelt in case my vehicle catches fire or is submerged in water. The fact is, incidents involving fire or water account for only 0.5% of all crashes. More importantly, you can't escape such dangers if you're not conscious. Wearing a seatbelt gives you a much greater chance of being conscious and able-bodied to be able to escape that vehicle. Thank you, and I'd like to turn it back over to Mayor Schember.
Thanks very much to all three of our presenters, Saxon, Sergeant Dunmeyer, and Mike. We appreciate all the important work that you do to save lives through the Click It or Ticket program. That concludes, it was kind of a long press conference, but that concludes our press conference for today. Please continue to follow us on social media for the latest updates on everything that's happening here in the city of Erie. All of us who spoke are now available for interviews. We'll take a picture first, then we'll do interviews. So thank you very much for being here or watching today. It's a great crowd here today. Thanks to all of you.